Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to Ramadan Real Talk with me, Jamila, aka the IEP coach.
And Miss Lee.
So welcome, everybody. Let's just do a quick introduction. I'm going to tell you who I am, and then my amazing co-host is going to tell you who she is, and then we're going to jump into what we're going to talk with you guys tonight. I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. I am the founder and CEO of the IEP Coach LLC. We're an education consulting company, and we specialize in providing professional development and coaching centered around special education to SPED teams, teachers, and paraprofessionals so they can thrive and not just survive in their roles. So that's just a little bit about us at the IEP Coach. Go ahead, Janae.
So I am Mentor Teacher Lee of the Mentor Teacher League, CEO. And at the Mentor Teacher League, we support teachers in years 1 to 5 with intense coaching and mentorship to make sure that our teachers feel that they are supported from a novice to becoming the expert in their classroom. And we have a proven track record where our teachers go from novice teachers to leaders to teacher leaders within their own school and network. And so we are excited to partner with the IEP Coach LLC and making sure that this Ramadan Real Talk, this series of year 2, is top notch.
Yes. Now, before we get started, share out this live, okay? Share out this live with leaders, with your friends, with your colleagues. Go ahead and share out this live because everybody needs to tune in to this live. We're trying to get everybody in, share the information about Ramadan. And it's going to be a series, okay? So we want to make sure you guys are in tune. You're asking your questions, but right now, share out this live and also let us know where you are tuning in from. Don't be afraid to drop it in the comments, okay?
Let us know.
And let me share it out as I'm telling you all to share it out. Thank you all so much for joining. All right, let me share out this live. And I hope everyone is staying warm. It's a bit cold here in Philly. It's a bit cold,
goodness.
But we are managing.
It's cold, but guess what? It's going to get warmed up, honey, because we got that parade coming on Friday.
I was just about to say that we won that Super Bowl last night too. So yeah, I'm still hyping. I'm still hyping.
Okay, making it work.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm hyped about all of that. So let me go ahead and share out this live.
I'm sharing it out, getting my folks in the room.
Yes, and let us know where you are tuning in from. Okay, so we got that. Make sure I hit up all the apps. All right. So tonight's episode, well, first off, let's just back up. So Mentor Teacher Lee and I, we did something similar last year. We did about maybe 2 lives last year. Being coachly responsive during Ramadan. Because that last year, there were some things in the news where schools weren't being very accommodating to students. So we was like, let's do a couple lives, right? This year we were like, let's do a little bit more. Let's start a little before Ramadan comes. Let's, have some consistent talks with the people.
So they know what we're doing.
Right. So that way they know what's coming and you can respond efficiently and correctly to your staff, to your students, to your friends, and your family that are celebrating Ramadan. All right. So Jeanette, you want to tell them a little bit about Ramadan Real Talk?
Oh my goodness. So you guys are in for a treat tonight. When we talk about Ramadan Real Talk, we are really focusing on how Ramadan is affected in our community, what Ramadan is, our fasting, and really giving you guys some time for some questions and common stereotypes and myths that happen during Ramadan that people who are not Muslim just really have, questions or things about. And we want to make sure that one, you are informed, and two, you feel empowered to support your students and support your communities at large, where you have like specifically here in Philadelphia, the population is you can't go in the classroom and not have a student who is Muslim. So we want to make sure that everybody is feeling empowered, and that way nobody has to question, you know, what it is that we're supposed to be doing, because this Ramadan Real Talk is going to give you the tools to be able to have those conversations and be equipped with knowledge and not walking in and feeling uncomfortable or on the other side making somebody feel uncomfortable.
So yeah, so we're gonna be going live every Monday up until March 3rd. So we're gonna go live. So it's today the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and then March 3rd, because inshallah Ramadan is starting the very beginning of March. So we're only gonna do one live in March,
Once
okay?
we in Ramadan, okay?
Once we hit Ramadan, when Ramadan starts, like you still got that high energy in the beginning. So we got the energy to do one more live, but after that, yeah, we're gonna cease the live because we're gonna be tired. You're fasting, your energy is not gonna be top tier where it needs to be to do this live. So we're just gonna just do 4 lives in total, and each week we'll tell you what the topic is going to be. So tonight, our topic is, what's the topic for tonight, Janae?
We're focusing tonight on those common stereotypes, misconceptions, and just giving you what Ramadan is, right? Like going right into what it is and how we can help our community.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, like, first off, what do y'all know? What do you know about Ramadan already? Because I think we should start with the basics. Like, what do you put in the comments? What do you know about Ramadan already? And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put a comment in the comment section of what you already know. Put it in the comments. What do you already know about Ramadan?
I'm checking the
Wa
chat.
alaikum assalam. Nashia. I think I said your name right. Alaikum assalam. What do you already know about Ramadan? All right, let's see. It's okay if you like, listen, I'm not sure. You're not going to get yelled at if you don't know anything. It's okay. Anybody want to take a shot? Want to take a shot? We got some shy people tonight. Okay, thank you, ACO Philly. You love what we're doing. Thank you so much. All right, let's just get into it about just the basics about Ramadan. So, a lot of times people think, well, Ramadan, it's like, oh, they don't really know what Ramadan is. They just like, oh, you don't eat. That's not what Ramadan is all about at all. It's like that's a portion of it, but that is not everything. Okay. So Ramadan is, well, one, it's the 9th month on the Islamic calendar for one. Okay. And we start Ramadan is when we go by the sighting of the new moon. So that's when we know Ramadan has arrived. Okay. So then everybody's making phone calls like, oh, they sighted the moon. They sighted the moon. They sighted the moon. This y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that about this happening, but it happens in the Muslim community. It's like text messages, phone calls. Oh, they sighted the moon. They sighted the moon. So that's how
it's going up when it happens.
Right. So that's when you're like, oh, okay, Ramadan has started. Okay. So this is when you know, hey, they sighted the moon. Ramadan is starting. Fasting begins. Yes, the extra prayer begins, and the discipline and everything begins, because Ramadan, you're not just fasting from food. You're fasting from anything that is not of benefit to you. So anything that is a bad habit for you, you're fasting from that. You could be using foul language. That is a bad habit you have. Fasting from that can help you stop using the foul language. So again, not just about refraining from food, you're refraining from bad habits. You're refraining from things that are not beneficial to you, that will not get you closer to Allah. And when we say Allah, Allah is the Arabic word for God. What you want to add to this, Janae?
And just thinking about that, Ramadan for Muslims is one of our five. This fasting is one of our five pillars, right? Meaning, like it's an obligation. It's a core for Muslims. So there is a bit of excitement, like Jamila talked about the text messages that are coming out, right? All of the excitement around it. The purpose of this is to have that spiritual purification, that self-discipline, right? I want to stop doing this thing. And as I'm entering Ramadan, I'm trusting and believing that God, that Allah is going to help me with this deepening connection to make sure that these things that I want to become a better person, that I want to get rid of, you know, whether it's gossip, whether I get angry, whether I'm impatient, right? All of these things, right, are also a part of fasting. And so many times when people hear, they think it's just about the food, and that's not it. So that I think for me, Jamila, the biggest thing is that it is an obligation for us as Muslims, and this is something that we like desire to get to every single year. And it's an exciting time.
Right. It's very exciting. And when Janae says that it's an obligation on us, it's an obligation on those who are of age. So those who are pubescent. So for girls, when you get your period and things, it's an obligation. For boys, when they reach that age, it becomes an obligation. However, when you grow up in Islam, or whether you're new to Islam and you're doing this with your family, you want to fast because uh, you get so many blessings
Yes,
for fasting, and like all your good deeds are like doubled what they would be outside of Ramadan. So people are during this time, you may
they're
find
running.
are they're more nice, they're more kind and compassionate, and it's because of how sacred this month is. People want to listen. I need to get some sins off of me. I wanna, hey, if I can feed, like feeding a fasting person, you get so many blessings for that. So you have
Right,
people
right.
like fighting, not, I don't want to say literally fighting, but they're like, listen, you need to,
Rushing.
you need
You're
let me
rushing to do this, right? It's not
right.
a moment that you like, oh, let me just lay back. You like, no, let me get
Oh,
this done now, right?
it's so much, that you want to do because you're like, listen, I want to stack as many blessings that I can this month. All right. So this is where you'll also see a lot of people will have community iftars, which is the breaking of the fast, where they get to feed a lot of people. What I mean? You get so many blessings for that. Feeding a fasting person, and so we just wanted to break down the basics of Ramadan, and then we're gonna go into, well, how do you fast? You told me what fasting was. You told me it was the ninth month. You told me it's one of the five pillars of Islam. You told me that it's a sacred month. It's an obligation. But how do you go about fasting? How do we go about
Mhm.
fasting, Janae?
All right. So, we're teachers at heart. So, two vocabulary words, sahur and iftar, right?
Yes, you never
And
forget.
so that let's start there with sahur and iftar, right? So the sahur is the pre-dawn meal. So before the sun comes up, we have our meal before our fast begins. So we have our fruit, our breakfast, whatever we have of whatever we like of choice that we know is going to sustain us throughout the day. That is our sahur. And then our iftar, Jamila just talked about having a community iftar. But if you are at home and you just have iftar with your family, that is also good. And that's the evening meal. So that's what you break your fast with. And it starts with dates and water. And so thinking about the fasting hours for Muslims. And so this year, you'll notice that time is a little different. For people who have gone through Ramadan, you may have seen people, sometimes it's in the later summer months. And now we're approaching in March. And so the fasting hours are different right now. But we're still fasting the same idea, right? So from dawn to sunset. So our fast means there is no food, no drinking, including water, and no physical indulgences during the daylight hours, right? And so those are the like ideal things that we want to focus on as we're doing that. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. So Jamila talked about being of age, right? So children who are not of age of puberty, the elderly, those women who are pregnant or nursing, if you are a traveler, right? These are exemptions. Those people who are ill and they are not required to fast as well, right? They have to take medication and things of that sort. So, like I said, this is something that we are running to and excited about. And so there are alternative ways because somebody may not be able to fast because of their circumstances, that they can make up their fast, they can give charity. Jamila talked about feeding someone who is fasting, right? And so there are things that you can do to still participate in Ramadan and honor, your exemption from fasting in other ways. And so the community is willing and able and still excited to be a part of this thing. And so you may see somebody, oh, they're Muslim, but this woman is not fasting. No need to worry. They got it figured out of how they are still going to be participating during Ramadan and how they are still going to be a part of the community and ultimately be pleasing to Allah.
So I'm going to put that just into a little bit more context for you. So let's say Fajr prayer, that's our morning prayer. Let's say that comes in at 6 a.m. So that's when the sun is rising. You can eat before that. Once Fajr prayer comes in, you need to stop eating because your fasting begins. Okay? So let's say, Fajr starts at 6 a.m. Okay, so from 6 a.m. until Maghrib, which is the sunset prayer, you are refraining from food. You're refraining from those indulgences and any bad habits and things of that nature. Okay. And let's say, Fajr, Maghrib, the sunset prayer comes in at 7 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, you can break your fast, have iftar. Okay. So it's between the hours of when we said sunrise to sunset. So Fajr prayer and Maghrib prayer. This is what Muslims use to know, okay, this is when I need to start my fast. Maghrib, Fajr is when I start my fast. Maghrib is when I have my iftar. I break my fast. So that's how we keep track of when we're going to start, when we're stopping, right? Now, fasting for the month of Ramadan, we fast for 29 to 30 days because once they sight a new moon, Ramadan has ended, and then we have our celebration, the Eid celebration, and we go all out for the Eid, okay? You see everybody in their best clothes, best shoes, everyone just smiling and everything because we just came through such an amazing sacred month. We celebrate, we give gifts, we have feasts, we have food. Like, I need to take off 2 days from work because I need to take off for prayer, but then I need another day to recuperate from, because literally, you are going from 8 in the morning until whenever you just stop. And that nap is real. You need to take a nap so that you can keep
It's
going.
so because there's so much excitement around Ramadan, and then you get in it and you're eager and you're excited. There's a lot of studying that happens, learning it. It's a lot of community that happens, right? And so once we get to that Eid celebration, it's like everybody is like, listen, yo, we did this together. We did this as a community. And for families, for children, for some that this is their first time fasting, like we really celebrate and like really, really have a good time with it. So it's just a good time and you be tired.
You be tired, but you keep pushing through, right? And so so you have people giving different iftars. So people have a big iftar where you can come and break your fast. It's so many going on. Like literally it gets to the point where you're like, okay, which iftar am I going to go to? Okay. Because it's always
a menu. What's on the menu for you?
And so, right. So you have iftar. And then also during this time, you're trying to get as many extra prayers as you can. During Ramadan, we do Taraweeh prayer where a chapter of the Quran is recited. That comes in after Isha prayer, which is the night prayer. So some of us are staying up later so that way we can get, our prayers in because you want to get as many good deeds in as possible. And something that Janae also shared was it's not meant to be a hardship. So if you are pregnant, if you are ill, if you are on medication, you are exempt. If you're traveling, you are exempt from fasting. If your time of the month is on, you are exempt from fasting. Now, that means you make up the day or the days that you missed.
Right.
Now, for someone who can't fast, who perhaps they have an ailment, and they have to take medication like every day or something like that, they will feed a fasting person to make up the day that they could not fast. Okay, so it's not meant to be a hardship. Okay, all right. So we went through, let's call it fasting 101. So he
Right.
told we fast from sunrise, which is Fajr prayer, to sunset, which is Maghrib prayer. So depending on the time of year, you may not be fasting. You may be fasting a short period of time, or you may be fasting a long period of time. Of course, in the summer months, the days are longer, so we fast longer. But in the winter, the days are shorter, so fasting isn't as much of a I don't want to say a struggle, but it's not as strenuous as it would be in the summer and
Strenuous is a good word. That's a good word.
okay. And so you know it's the ninth month. You know how to fast. And another thing you want to take into consideration is get food that you know you're going to eat. So like when sunrise, when sahur comes in, you think you're going to eat, maybe the first couple of days you might eat pancakes and sausage and bacon and all that stuff. That will last. I will give you a week. I'm not even going to give you the full week. That will last
No,
days. That will
4
last
days.
days.
4
Okay.
days.
You're
4.
gonna get to the point you're gonna be tired when you get up. You may sit there like, I don't even want to eat. I'll be honest, when I get up for sahur, I make wudu and I literally stare in space for like 10 to 15 minutes because I'm literally like waking up to be like, oh, you're fasting, you gotta fast. And then I'll get up to fix myself something to eat. And for me, I may have a protein shake, some fruit, a bagel, and I drink some water and I'm full. But I know I will eat that. I can't eat
Right.
all the other stuff. I'm not gonna eat it. I have to
Right.
in
And
the
so my
morning
go-to,
to have things I know I can eat.
right, my go-to is normally oatmeal, hard-boiled egg, with a little bit of maybe toast, um, my water, and oh my goodness, the summertime is better with to have that watermelon, but it's like a good bowl of fruit, like some fresh fruit.
Yes.
It take you over. Some good berries or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you too
That's
good. You too
watermelon.
good.
It's a hydrated fruit. But
Hmm.
is that the word? Hydrated fruit?
Hydrate. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, watermelon is good for that. So it's like you want that, and it's like there's no one solution that will help you be like, oh my God, you're not gonna
Oh,
feel
I'm good. Yeah, yeah. But in the summertime, when the watermelon is at its peak, you're like, oh, this is really good.
right.
But
You
some
might
good berries, some strawberries and stuff, an apple, like yeah,
yeah. But definitely get you water. Drink probably as much as you can in the morning. Definitely drink your water. And then when iftar time comes, you think you might go eat all this food. You will eat. You will drink some water. Eat a little bit of fruit, and you'll be full. You think, oh my God, I can't wait to throw down. You will drink
you
water,
won't.
a
Hmm.
few dates or some fruit, and you will be full. I promise you. I
For
promise you.
sure.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So that's just a little of how do you fast? Okay. So you definitely want to make sure you have the what you need. You definitely want to make sure you're taking your supplements, any vitamins, things of that nature. I find that I'm healthier during Ramadan. I'm actually taking all my vitamins like I should. I drink water all
Right.
the time, so like that's always good for me. But like you definitely want to make sure you have things in your household. When sahur time comes, you know you have something to eat, and when the iftar time comes, you either have the iftar to go to, or you have things in your house that you know, okay, it's time for me to break my fast. I can eat that. All right.
Right.
Now we're going to go into some stereotypes and some myths about Ramadan. Okay.
Let's help the people. Let's help the people.
We're going to educate you because these are stereotypes and myths. Okay. All right. You can start today.
You can't even drink water.
Oh, that had like that gets said so much that it's on a t-shirt now. Like we said,
Not even water.
like we said, there's a time frame where you're not eating or drinking. Okay? Before sunrise, yes, you can drink your water. When you break your fast, yes, you can drink water. During the fasting hours, you're not eating or drinking. Okay? So So yes, during Ramadan, you can have water, but just not during your fasting hours.
Hours.
Okay. And also fasting also puts you in the puts you in the position of someone who's less fortunate, who doesn't have the luxury to eat 3 meals a day or have access to food all the time. So it helps to give you some empathy for those that are less fortunate as well.
Could tap right into that. So you can hit the second one.
I got it. You don't eat for the whole month?
That's not true. We already covered that, but let's cover it again. We're going to eat every day. We're going to eat every day, and we're going to eat every day before the sunrise. We're going to eat every day after the sunset. We're going to have our water. We're going to have our fruit. We're going to have our meal, whatever it is that we enjoy. We're going to have it. And like Jamila said before, that sometimes you're going to think that, oh, I had this big idea about what I really want. You go make this big meal, honey. You going to sit down and have 1 or 2 spoonfuls because you have been like really in a state all day of like very calm and all of the things. Those first couple days, you got a lot of high hopes about what you're going to eat and what your menu look like. It goes very fast.
Yes, it goes very fast. So don't think it's consistent 29, 30 days you not eat. Who can survive like that? You would really get sick. You have to go to the hospital. So no, it's not meant to be a hardship. Again, we have our time before sunrise. You get up, you eat. For me, I normally get up like maybe like an hour and a half before Fajr prayer comes in, because I know I need time to wake up. I know I need time to wake up to be alert, like, oh, you're fasting today. Okay. So that's what I'll do. And that's my time where, and I like something, and I grew up this way. My parents will always just pour their glasses of water, just leave it on the table. So once they finish eating, their water is there. And it's like a reminder, drink water. So that's something I immediately pour myself like 2 glasses of water, and I sit them in front of me because I'm like, okay, you got to drink these before Fajr prayer comes in. So we have that. And again, when you break your fast at iftar, you can start eating and drinking again. Okay. You want to do the next one, Janae?
So it's fasting unhealthy. And I think we used to get this a lot. Now people are doing intermittent fasting and things of that. So they have some concepts of it, but just to give you the real about, where we are in Ramadan. So fasting is not unhealthy when it's done correctly, right? It has many spiritual and physical benefits. And so we talk about, as Muslims, through Ramadan, we are reading, we are studying, we are building community, we are leaning on each other, we are talking and really listening and really discovering our relationship with our Creator, with Allah. And it is a time of spiritual growth. And sometimes you may observe that people go into Ramadan one way and they come out and you're like, wow, this person is really a changed person. And that is because the dedication and the time and the studying and the spiritual, well-being that happens during this entire month. I like that spiritual well-being. You got to get tapped in for these 29, 30 days. And so what other choice do you have but to really become a better you, right? That self-improvement and really focusing in that spiritual aspect and those benefits that we have. So I just think that it's such a beautiful time, y'all.
So Janae went into a lot of the spiritual well-being, the spiritual benefits. There are also health benefits as well. So it does improve your metabolic health because it promotes your insulin sensitivity. It supports weight management. Now, I'm not saying you're going to lose weight. No, it just helps with your waist, your weight management, because it helps you to regulate the amount of calories that you are intaking in a day. It enhances detoxification of your body. Your digestive system gets a break. It boosts brain function and mental clarity. So it improves your cognitive function and your mood. It reduces inflammation. Studies show that intermittent fasting reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, benefiting overall health. It promotes heart health. It can lower cholesterol levels, reduce blood pressure, and support cardiovascular well-being. It encourages gut health and digestive rest. It improves your gut health. And then it also balances hormones and promotes longevity. So fasting, it helps to remove damaged cells and generate healthier ones. Okay. So there is, on top of the spiritual benefits, you have physical health benefits. Because some people, you may see them in the beginning of Ramadan and towards the end of Ramadan, they may just seem brighter skin, brighter face. Their demeanor is just so much better. You may look at them and say, oh my God, did you lose weight? Possibly, maybe, but then like their mood has just changed and so much has changed about them. And like even when Ramadan ends, I will still function like I'm fasting because I've been practicing this habit for 29, 30 days. And so my body has gotten used to
Another way. That's right.
eating that. So it even takes some time to be like, oh, fasting is over. I can stop fasting. I can eat regular. I can't just jump back into eating regular like I would, because I'm like, I've already have practiced refrain. And this doesn't mean, oh, I just stopped eating altogether. No, it's just not indulging in what I was indulging in prior. Okay. So yeah, you have a lot of benefits when it comes to fasting, spiritual as well as physical well-being. All right.
Yes. And so I'm just thinking about, as we're going through this, right? I just wonder, how are we looking in the comments? Any questions as we look?
We got a question right here from Alicia B_eats. She said, how can we support Muslims if you're not Muslim? My son dies. Oh, my son's dad is Muslim. Okay. All right. So great question, Alicia
Thank
B.
you, Alicia B.
We appreciate this, and we appreciate you wanting to be inclusive and being respectful of someone who is a Muslim and who is fasting. And we're going to go into that topic in more detail next week. But right now, we can tell you, for one, being mindful that he is fasting, so like making sure you don't offer him something to eat or something to drink when he's fasting. Something you could do is, like, if you know he's fasting, and I want to say in March we break and fast, like I want to say like maybe 7:25. You can say, oh, here, I got iftar for you. When I tell you somebody do that for me, I'm like, thank you so.
And it's already thought out for you. Yeah, you don't have to think about it.
He's not going to have to think about his meal. Or if you want to say, hey, I have sahur for you. I prepared this sahur for you, which is something he could eat in the morning. That's something you can do.
Also, any fresh fruits that you know that he might enjoy, that you can have those ready on deck, that you can pass off. Or if you are out and now is the time, you'll see like some dates coming. And some people are very particular about the dates that they like. And so if you see a nice box of dates and they nice and golden, picking that up and just having that prepared too, to say, hey, I picked up some dates because I know that you'll be using these throughout the month. That is also something that's like, hey, I don't have to think about my dates. And I think there are a lot of different like recipes for dates and dressing them up now, but a good date is going to be a good date with nothing on it, right? I've seen chocolate covered dates and dates filled with cream cheese and stuff like that.
And like there's so many different things, like even having like some water on hand, just say, oh, here, take this with you. So where, hey, if you might be, because sometimes we're driving and iftar, it's time for iftar and you're driving. So you got your water with you got some dates, or you got some nuts with you. You can have, you have that with you. And I would just say, even like, just saying Ramadan Mubarak, that goes a long way. The fact that you acknowledge
it,
that it's that is Ramadan, and you're basically wishing him a blessed Ramadan. Those are just some things that you can do. Oh, she said thank you. You're welcome, Alicia.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Any other questions? That was a great question.
Yes.
Great question. Don't be scared, y'all. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
But yeah, because even like everyone in my family is not a Muslim, but they know when Ramadan comes, so they know like oh, I'm not eating right now, or like if they do have dinner or something, they'll have it later so that way I can come, or they put a plate aside for me. My friends, my non-Muslim friends who have known me for years, I'll say like 20 years or more, they always know Ramadan comes. I don't say I shut it down, but it's like anything like hanging out or something, like if we go out to an event or something like that, in my mind, I'm like, I can do that always. I'm like, let me not do it during Ramadan because I'd rather spend the time, oh, let me go to Taraweeh, or, oh, let me catch up on my reading of the Quran, because also, we complete reading the whole Quran during the month of Ramadan. So it's like, I can always do the other stuff later, go to an event or go to a live event or something like that. I could always do that later. Ramadan comes once a year and everybody doesn't make it to Ramadan. There are some people who have passed on since the last Ramadan. So it's hard to make it to Ramadan. You know what I mean? It's like a spiritual cleanse of your soul, of your mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can compare it to. That's what Ramadan is like.
And that's why we all running to get to Ramadan.
Okay, I don't think we had. Let me check my IG to see if we got any more questions.
Yeah, I was looking
right, any more questions? Okay, I don't see none on mine. You see any on your side?
No, I don't see any on mine either.
All right. So let's just do a quick takeaway of what we discussed so far. Just a quick recap. So we told you Ramadan is about faith, fasting, and self-discipline. It is not just about food.
Right.
Spiritual benefits as well as physical benefits. And we talked about some stereotypes so that way we can create a more inclusive spaces for Muslims during Ramadan. Okay. So and like I said, one of the biggest things that you can do is wish someone a blessed Ramadan. You can say Ramadan Mubarak. You know what I mean? You're wishing someone a great Ramadan. Just saying that you acknowledge that for somebody, that goes a long way.
Goes a long way.
All right.
Because they realize that you recognize what they're excited about and what they're about to enter in this sacred time. And so they say, oh, she know how to say Ramadan Mubarak, or, bless Ramadan. Like,
it's the time to learn. Like, oh, okay. You want me to know that you know Ramadan. I appreciate it.
Yes.
That. All right. Okay. So don't forget, we are going live every Monday up until we're going to go live on next week, the 17th, the 24th, and March the 3rd. Ramadan Real Talk, 6 p.m. on Mondays, Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in next week where we talk about how
the
to
Ramadan.
Go ahead.
Do's and don'ts.
Right.
What it shouldn't say.
Right. Okay. And we're going to be including that in. Okay. Yep. Got it. So the do's and don'ts, what you should and shouldn't be saying during Ramadan. So tune in for that. Wait, I think it's the supporting Muslims. We might have got it back.
Oh, we might have went back. Okay.
No problem. So next week, 17th, is supporting Muslim students and colleagues during Ramadan. See, this is why it's the both of us here, because we can double check each other. Like, wait a second, nope, that's all we said.
Wait a minute, hold on.
It's okay. See, that's why we have each other. Okay, that's why we have each other. Sure. So next week we're talking about supporting Muslim students and colleagues during Ramadan. So definitely tune in. So you can learn how to support your colleagues, how to support your students, and even your friends and family that are that are Muslim and that are fasting. So whether you're a Muslim or you're not a Muslim, learn about how you can support them during the blessed month of Ramadan. So please make sure you like our posts. You put it on your calendar, remind yourself 6 p.m. on Monday so you can tune in. Share out the live, share out our reels, because we posted a reel today and we're going to have another reel coming. Was it Thursday? Thursday. We got another reel coming Thursday just to, talk about the things that go on during Ramadan. So feel free to comment, like, and share. Okay. And we will see you all next week, next Monday, February 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So Make sure any Muslim educator you know, any student you know who is Muslim, share the live out. Make sure they join us
Principals,
next week.
principals, APs, share it out with them, guys. And we will see you all next week. Have an amazing evening.